Sean Pham. What does silence sound like? It sounds like nothing and inaction. Silence refrains action. Silence muted my actions. Whenever me and my friend went to an event, he would sometimes get roasted badly about his haircut because he apparently liked the military style, but it did not match him. And with this, I felt bad and I gathered regret. And it felt natural just to, go along with the peer pressure around me, him, and the group of people. And I wanted to speak up bad. It was like this burning fire inside of me, but I let him get roasted so many times. I feel bad. Speaking up brought up anxiety, especially when it came to me in middle school, as I had a crush on a particular person. And man, I knew her for 2 years, and man, it was building up. I was scared. I was like, it has to be time to do it. And I decided to do it on Valentine's week of 8th grade year, and it was embarrassing for me to talk about it, but here goes. I procrastinated till the last hour of the class, which was on Friday, and I was like, I was going to do it. But whenever it came the opportunity to, I asked her, but I was scared. I was anxiety. So I asked her, she said no, and then, it just ended like that. And turning anxiety into adrenaline, that was similar to my driving experience. I was scared, oh man. I didn't want to drive. I was shaking, my hands were sweaty. I didn't want to drive. I was scared. The anxiety just built into adrenaline when I was speeding up the ramp and switching to the left lane. I thought I was going to get hit. I was going to cause an accident. I would drive again. I'd lose my legs. It was crazy, I didn't like it. And to conclude my confessional, silence muted my actions. Speaking up brought up anxiety. Turning anxiety to adrenaline built up my confidence. And silence was my enemy. What's comfortable is not the best.
Thanks, Sean. In the words of Usher, you got it back. When you're on the phone, hang up and you call right back. Our generation has developed somewhat of a problem with social media and its influence in our lives. It's grasped its power over our thoughts that, say, makes us nervous when we think we misplaced our phone, or maybe anxious when we don't get enough likes on the post that we've uploaded. It's become a huge problem, and this won't be beneficial in college. You must work hard and diligently to get the same grades that you're getting in high school to get in college. So that's why I'm here to give you 3 tips right here from Xavier University's college to help you better study while in college. So step 1 is to actually complete the assignment. So your cell phone should be of minimal to no use while trying to complete an assignment. You have a task right in front of you. You must complete it. That's step 1. Put your phone away, put it on Do Not Disturb, do whatever you need to do to ensure that you actually complete the assignment. I know this firsthand because my freshman year when I was studying during finals week, I actually had my phone right next to me, so I didn't finish studying everything I wanted to, so I felt unprepared when it was time to actually take the test. Number 2 is to absorb the information, and by putting your phone away, you can actually focus on what's in front of you instead of trying to split your attention between 2 entities. You can actually just look at the work, take it all in, gather what you need to, and so that you can be successful when you actually have to take the test. An example of this would be in everyday life, listening to one of your friends while she was telling you a story, he or she was telling you a story. If you aren't listening and you're on your phone, you're not going to get in all the information that you need to, therefore missing the bits and pieces, and you're just going to be confused. Lastly, the how-to absorb and complete. You have to use your eyes and your ears. You have to act. It's your ears and your eyes are actually really powerful tools, and when you're not focusing on social media, you can actually absorb all of the information via your eyes, reading, or your ears listening. So you can use this in class. Say if your teacher was talking, use your eyes and ears attentively, listen, pay attention, take in all your information. I know this for a fact because when we had to do the blindfold experiment and this no social media, no talking, I found myself being more attentive when listening to things around me and actually zoning in on one thing at a time. And I found my focus was far better than it usually was. So you have your 3 steps: complete, absorb, and this is how to do both of those. Thank you so much. And overall, social media and technology isn't bad while studying, and that's actually really effective if your work is on your laptop or your iPad. But it usually takes away from the task at hand. So put it up, study, and now to Tiffany for more.
Hello, this is Tiffany Dwan coming to you live from Zula's Library, and today in my segment of Just Not Do It, we're going to talk about the truth. What is your truth? What is my truth? During our group activity, I found out that I didn't want to do it. I kept pushing it back because I wasn't obligated to do it yet. The time frame has not ended, and I still had a lot of time to do it. And that's my truth about myself. My life motive is, if it's not due tomorrow, I'm not doing it today. And how many times have you told yourself that? Plenty, I know it. Whether it's laundry, homework, or chores. You won't do it yet because you don't have to. When you hear procrastination, you obviously think that it's a dangerous quality to have in a person. And let's collaborate on that. Procrastination can be negative depending on what kind of procrastinator you are. There are last-minute types and avoiders, and those are the 2 negative types of procrastinators. A last-minute procrastinator has an idea floating around in their head, and they don't get to it until the very slight second it's due. I have that issue with essays. I would have the topic floating around my head, and I would never get to it until it's due the night before. And with essays, you notice that you have a lower success rate when you have rushed work. And I found myself having rushed work when it came to essays because you didn't have quality work. You had rushed work, and it was poor grammar, and it showed in your grade when you got it back. As a avoider procrastination, I would confess that I am also that, because I'm an avoider procrastination when it comes to organic chemistry. I tend to avoid organic because avoiders are scared of failure, and that's what I am in organic. I didn't do so hot last semester, and I didn't pass with flying colors, but I still passed, and it discouraged me. But procrastination can also be a positive thing in your life, because if you're an active procrastinator, you're always getting things done. An active procrastinator has a lot of things on their to-do list, but there's one thing that's very important, and they tend to do all the little things and procrastinate on the most important thing. It shines a light on what's important to you. I found myself in that position when I had an interview to pharmacy school. It was a time where I still had classes, assignments, and homework. And so what I would do is push back my preparation for my interview, and I did everything that I needed to do. Homework, quizzes, readings, everything. And by the time I finished all that, I only had one thing to worry about, and that was my interview. So that's why procrastinators can be a positive thing in your life, because it gets you moving. You focus on what's important in your life. But procrastination is also important because you need time management. Time management is a key in college, because without time management, you don't know what you're doing, and you don't know when to do it, how to do it. And that's very important. Procrastination can be dangerous, but it can also be positive and negative depending on how you control it. It's up to you, and only you, to see how you use it. Embrace it.
Thank you, Tiffany. Reporting with more advice for high school students, this is SPhamKWilliamsTDoanSMcDowell. Real quick, I just want you to ask yourself, how many times have you heard a rude opinion that you disagreed with? Or how many times did you find a rule very unjust? Or how many times have you heard a stereotypical opinion of that one friend, but you couldn't say anything because how dare you try changing the station of the genre of music you live in? One of the main things that I think all, not even high schoolers, but just people in general should learn is that no matter how smart you are or how much you've learned in college or high school or education, anywhere, your main power, the main thing that's going to help you get through life is how you communicate with others. So if there's one thing I've learned about myself, it's that I needed to work on my communication skills. I was someone in high school who just laid low. I was very smart. I made all A's, so I didn't have to worry about knowing how to talk to people. But when I got to college, I realized that was an entire different ball game. You're going to want to talk to your professors. You're going to want to know how to talk to people respectfully and make the most of their time as well as yours, you're going to want to make friends. Don't be shy. I know that might be hard sometimes, but ultimately, if you can't use your voice, it doesn't matter how many A's you can make on your test or how much you study, because at the end of the day, when you graduate college, you need to be able to communicate with people. That's going to be your career for the rest of your life. No matter what path you take, you're going to want to know how to communicate. That was a tough process for me. I was somebody who didn't really say too much to others. I kind of just kept my opinions, or if I didn't agree with someone, I would just keep that to myself. So what I would say to you is to make new friends, to go out of your comfort zone and ask questions in class, or speak up for things you believe in, even if somebody else or your partner next to you might not believe in it, and to make the most of it. College is going to be a great experience. I've only been in it for 2 years, and I've met some lifetime friends. I've met professors that have made me change my perspectives totally, and I've met complete strangers that made me think like, okay, maybe I do need to step it up. Maybe I don't know everything. Maybe I do need to take advice from other people. And also, I've learned that my opinion matters too, and it could be beneficial to other people. So if you could just learn how to communicate and to learn how to talk to people in a nice tone and with respectful manner, and to just gain people's trust throughout communication, it'll really get you far. It really, really will. So my last question to you is, are you limiting your capabilities to use your voice?